Hi guys, welcome back to Stitching It. Today's video is going to be a follow-up to one that I posted almost a month ago, which was called Getting Started with Pattern Keeper app. And I wanted to spend a little bit of time showing you guys how I actually do use the app while I'm stitching. So I wanted to demonstrate, more of how my personal stitching style rather than do a tutorial. So if you do need more assistance with how to get started with the app and how to use the features within the app itself, I'm just going to put a link to that video below, but this video is not really tutorial based. It's going to be more of a demonstration, just how my stitching style basically. So the project I'm going to be working on today is a mini Farewell to Anger, which I started right after I got this app at the very end of December, and I've just been kind of working on that as I have time, and I left it so I could show you where I have my progress on the mock-up right now and show you that it matches the progress that I've got on my stitched piece. So I just wanted to show you that it says, for example, that I'm up to 1,818 stitches out of a total of 76,725. So that starts me off at 2.37% today. And that's pretty neat to have your stats there on the side all the time. So one thing I do want to mention is when you leave off and you exit the app, it remembers where it automatically saves your progress and remembers where you were when you left. So I left it in this state where I could see a zoomed out version of the mock-up, but it still has 518, the symbol that I was working with, highlighted for me in green, so I can remember, oh, I was on symbol 518, and see, that's why I even left it in the middle of a stitch there, right there. That's right there actually. So for this project I am using 25 count Magic Guide. It's from DMC, and this is the only project that I have on this fabric, and I hope that the grid lines are going to come out with any problem. That otherwise I have been gridding myself on my own fabric on my other projects. But let's see. So I just stitched. What's neat about is when you get to a certain point, you don't have to do as much counting. You can just kind of visually see the colors and the holes. Okay, so I just stitched that one, and I highlighted it in purple, and I'm checking done. And what's neat is I can look up at the pattern. I've got enough stuff that I don't have to count too much right now, but I can see the exact colors that marked on the page that the thread is supposed to be, so I can see exactly where the stitch is supposed to be. Now I apologize, I'm going to be kind of roughly editing and trimming up this video to make it more palpable and shorter, because I don't want it to be incredibly long, but I want to address things that I've seen on the groups and requests for and things like that. So I just stitched that stitch right there, and the corresponding one I highlighted in purple. I'm just gonna stitch the next one that I see on the page, which is right there. Yeah, I'm going to pull that through in a second, but see, I'm just going to go back up here and press that to highlight it, and see, I got to travel over here a little bit for my next couple stitches. So I'm really a cross-country stitcher, okay? I love that I haven't had to eliminate parked threads, but I park them where there's really sparse and areas that there's nothing around, when there's no stitches around, and then when I get to them again and fill in these areas, then I just kind of stitch through them, you know. So that was over there, and I have to go. Now see, this is telling me that I've already got a parked thread here. That stitch right there, that Z, I'm working on this Z symbol, and now I've run into a place where I have actually already a parked thread there in that same color. So I will probably end this thread off that I'm on. Let me see if I can go the other direction. That's another, let's see now, purples. Yes, I'll just go over here. I do travel a little bit, you know, in my case. Okay. All right. Let's see. There it was. That's where I was. Let me zoom in a little bit so I can. There we go. Now I got to do a little bit of counting and moving around of threads, but okay, so I did a few more stitches here and recorded them in the Pattern Keeper app, but I zoomed back out so I could show you how I sort of pick where I stitch, you know, because some people like to follow the diagonal lines and some people like to stay within the blocks. I, you know, want to fill in blocks diagonally, but these are 20 by 20 blocks, you know, on this DMC Magic Guide. I just kind of freely follow what makes sense to me when I see it on Pattern Keeper on the app. You know, I picked, like so far, you know, I picked by where I saw some gaps or holes up here. This symbol next, over here, right there, is going to be 823, which is a dark blue color. There's a lot of dark blues in this area, of course. So I zoomed back in using the first tool. Then I've already got highlighted during the second tool, so I don't need to do that. And then I switched to the markup tool, and I'm going to get my thread out, but when I start to stitch there, then I'll start marking those off. Okay, so let me move this over just a little bit so you can see it better, but I'm going to fill in these stitches here real quick, and let's see. When I stitch from a full box, a full set of DMC colors that I, you know, pull one strand off of one length of floss at a time, and then change colors that way. So there we go. So I'm just gonna fill in these last couple stitches just to show you. I am going more slowly than I normally would, I think, because being set up with the cameras has been a little bit difficult. Alright, so to correspond with those, I just touch in purple and then click the check mark to mark it off, and it fills it in. And as you continue to do that, you create your image to match the bottom that you're stitching on the bottom. And like I said, there's, depending on your personal style or method of stitching, you can follow along, like I said, and customize how you see your chart better and how you want to stitch specifically. So I'm really excited about using this program. You know, it helps me keep track of where I am. I find that when I come back to a full coverage piece, if it's been a while since I've used it, I get confused about where I was, what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm on, you know, and things like that. And playing around with the search feature on the map can let you see, oh, you know, anything that jumps out at you, maybe as a cross-country stitcher, or like I said, organize yourself better as a diagonal stitcher. It really depends on what your method is that you employ. So it's great for customization, and but let me know how you use the app, you know, and if you have any specific questions or specific concerns about getting used to it, especially if you're a first-time Android user. I don't know. Again, I would say I would direct most of your questions towards the Stitching with Pattern Keeper Facebook group, you know, but if you have any other questions or you want to see something more demonstrated the way I stitch, just, you know, let me know. And I hope that this has been a helpful video for you to see how I use the pattern in conjunction with my stitching. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.